Well, it's finally time for Amorim's first game in charge of United. Gone are the days of Eric bin Ten Hag. It's time for the Portuguese maestro to take the reins. Ruud finished his stint as interim with 3 wins and 1 draw in 4 games. So now finally everyone can see the new Manchester United. Fresh off 4 games unbeaten under Ruud and the international break, time to finally see this new 3-4-2-1 formation in flesh. With a lot of speculations about the system Amorim was gonna play. I'm sure the journalists were excited to see this new formation being used. With the fans all excited to see what the future will hold for United, it was finally time. Here we fucking go! Oh. Well, this sucks. Right off the bat, the game started fast. Within the first 2 minutes of the game, United opened the scoring with Rashford slotting it in. Pace was key in this goal, assisted by Ahmad, who was playing as a right wing back. Great wide attacking play, with decisive finishing from Rashford, which led to United taking the lead within 81 seconds of play. It's really all the things you want to see from United. And like many other managers post Sir Alex, Amorim started his journey by instating Rashford as his lone striker today. I think judging by the starting lineup, Amorim took one look at Xerxes and Højlund in training and was like, nope, I'm taking my chances with the guy who was in New York City right before I came over, rather than these two clowns. I'm sure Gary Neville got real mad about that.
But would you travel 12 hours to a destination when you've got 3 or 4 days off, and then you've got 8 hours, obviously, time difference, the jet lag going to America, you've been to that west side of America, when you obviously had bad results, you're trying to prepare for a new manager coming in for the shoot. Would you do that? I wouldn't do that. I'm just saying, it's not jumping up and down about it. Would you do that as a point of view? That was the thing that surprised me. Because I've made a comment this week about Casemiro and Marcus Rashford travelling to America in their few days off. And it was me thinking as a Manchester United player when I played here that you've got a few days off, the club are 13th in the league, the manager has just been sacked, it's a challenging part of the season and the new manager is about to come in, and that focus and preparation and not every single little detail is really important. And I said I don't think I would have chosen that trip to go to America. With the time difference, I did get it wrong. I think I went to New York rather than Portland, so I apologise for that. But there's still a 5-6 hour time difference. They're on planes. Casemiro's 30 years of age. Are you comfortable with that?
But since the goal, it was all a bit chaotic for United. United had a few chances and attacks, but still felt disorganized, especially off the ball and in defense. And it was evident to see Ipswich having more momentum behind them since then, creating better chances and regularly attacking United's box in the first half. You could feel a goal coming for Ipswich. And of course, Omari Hutchinson equalized in the 43rd minute with a great strike from outside United's box, just before halftime. And now, not that it matters, but it was also key to note that during this period of time, the VAR systems were down. Yes, you heard that right, VAR was off during a game. Well, at least for 6 minutes. If you were watching the game, you might have noticed around the 37th minute, the referee stopped the game and spoke with both captains. It was a fire at Stockley Park which had temporarily shut down the VAR system, but due to its unforeseen nature, play was continued. In the second half, Ipswich of course sat back a bit. United tried to get something going, but nothing came off. Overall, the game was a bit meh. There were some decent performances from players, of course. Rashford and Ahmad connecting for the first goal early on, and Mazraoui was pretty decent as the far right centre back. Dalot was decent as left wing back. Bruno was alright with 92% pass accuracy, and a couple of shots which came to nothing in the end. I think over time the system might suit him, as he may get more attacking freedom playing a bit further up the pitch, as a wide number 10, but it's yet to be seen. Most of the other players both in the starting 11 and off the bench were not that impressive regardless. Xerxes came on again in the 68th minute to just stink up the place. Like, what is the point of this guy? Honestly, I think at this point the sheer sight of him just annoys me. He had 1 touch in the opposition box and was also dispossessed, with 1 shot coming off from outside the box for him in 22 minutes. At least he got 1 shot off, I suppose, cause our boy Rasmus managed 0 shots in the game in his 22-minute cameo. But 2 touches compared to Xerxes. Truly the battle of the GOATs. Speaking of the GOATs, apparently Mason Mount played in this game too. You might remember him as the guy Ten Hag bought from Chelsea and gave the number 7 shirt to after kicking out Ronaldo. Yeah, him, the guy who's been perpetually injured. He came on the 86th minute and did nothing. To be fair, it was only a couple of minutes, but I honestly sometimes forget he even plays for United. Oh, and Malacia was on the bench. Yep, Tyrell is still alive, guys. His injury, which we don't know much about, healed it seems. At least enough for him to come back and be on the bench after 2.5 years. So welcome back, man. I'm pretty sure you're getting sold in the next window, dude. The average positioning of the players in this game were all questionable. As you can see, it saw all the midfielders, including Eriksen, Casemiro and Bruno, all occupying the same area and overlapping with one another, leaving a clear gap on the right hand side of the pitch. With Garnacho bombing forwards, often past Rashford and taking the furthest forward position, there was space in the left for Ipswich to attack as well. And when we compared this with the average position the players took up in Ten Hag's last game, we can see a striking similarity, with players taking up the same space on the field and leaving gaps for the opposition to exploit. Like I said in my previous video about Ten Hag, these players run around the field like a group of headless chicken. And regardless of all this, the fact is it was a disappointing performance and result, but also it was Amorim's first game as United boss. He barely had any time to instate his system or style of play, or get around and assessing the players. He only had 2 days of training with all the players available. So this result doesn't really hold much weight either ways. And while I hope Amorim does well as United boss, experience tells us it's gonna be a real rough journey for him. All I and you can do is wish him the very best. But honestly, getting something out of these players, he will need a miracle.